My name is Keila Almaguer. We're going to go ahead and go over what it is for the organizational change, the type of things that we encountered in our life, and what is needed to go ahead and overcome that, and make sure that the change that we are going through, it is actually something better that we may have in life, and it may not be something bad. Sometimes people do get scared, but with the support of others, it can go ahead and be something good. For example, here we're going to go ahead and see the different changes in our life. The first example that I go ahead and have is, when you first start, this goes for women. When they start to work, they work all the hours available. They make sure if they have anything pending, they stay after hours or go in before work. After a while, women get married and they want to have kids. So when that happens, you're considered like an octopus technically, since you have a lot of things to do. You have to go work, you have to take care of the baby, you have to make some house chores, the cooking, the laundry, little things like that, and do take up your time. But that is a change that you need to adjust to. The sleeping late, the short amount of sleep, the different time hours that you're going into work and the time that you come out. Since you now have someone to look after, that will go ahead and change your time schedule. Personally, as of right now, I have been going through that for the past 6 years of my life. I have 2 kids, so it actually goes with that. It's a big change, but you do have a lot of things to consider, and it's not something bad. It's just something that it's really great in life to have someone that cares about you and is really there, even though they're little kids, but they're really joyful. Second would be moving into a home. Parents have to worry about new bills and the moving and stuff like that. Sometimes you get the help of your kids, which are old enough to, make their own little adjustments here and there and make sure the room is clean and things like that. But once you're moving into a new home, well, you do got to take care of other things. You got to take a mortgage, the house insurance. There are little things like that you need to go ahead and worry about now that you have a home and you have a bigger responsibility than maybe you used to. The next one is, I looked at it really, really funny, and it's something that it's the majority of the time comes true. Usually when you're single, women, they make their money $800 and the salary for men is like $1,200. Yet when you get married, well, who takes care of the bills? Females. They take care of the shopping, the cooking, and restocking everything. Other than that, when men need to buy things that they need for the car and stuff, well, that's when they take care of it. But other than that, usually the money goes out to the female, and the female takes all the responsibilities. So females tend to have more responsibilities in their hands nowadays. Next we have, I put in this one for educational wise. Back in the days, I remember where we didn't have the options to be on the computers or learn from them and stuff like that. Nowadays, they're able to, and they have the computers in class, which means they do get some free time and they're able to use the computer with some programs that are more educational than they had before. Now they have also elementary schools have space in the back, and they do some labor work. They help children plant some tomatoes, some carrots, little things like that will go ahead and grow in the back garden and that will look pretty. They go ahead and do that. Usually they do this the last week of school when the school year is over, and a week before school starts. This one is called the enrichment camp that school started having I would say 2 years ago that they started. It's a really good program. Kids do activities that they haven't done before, and they learn and they have fun before school starts. So that makes them, adjust again to going to school, waking up early, following a routine, but with more fun activities. This one is showing strategy forms between teachers. They're going ahead and they have assignments that they have to do, some tutoring, not tutoring work, but they have some scenarios that they may encounter, or different educational strategies that they share. So they come together the week before this enrichment camp happens. So they go ahead and talk to each other. They come up with different programs that could help the children, and they help each other as one, which is how a business should help each other out. It is really good for an organization like this to go ahead and do things, especially teachers, since they are one of the leaders that children look up to. Especially because some of them want to be a teacher, others say, well, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a policeman, I want to be a firefighter. So they look up to these grown-ups that are doing all of these strategies, and they're teaching them, so they are following, which is something really good. This is another teaching program the teachers use. They do have a little smart tablet, and they go ahead and have little educational games. And, kids are starting to adapt to them. Nowadays, kids are more adapt to a phone, to a tablet, than, playing outside, being on the bike, or, stuff like that are recreational programs. Which I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just that educational wise, they did make a change. And it's a change that the kids are already adapting since they have it at home. Once this is done, here comes the day that they graduate and stuff. So, that's another change in their life that they have to adjust to. This is when their new career starts. So they go ahead and have, whether they're a teacher, a cop, this is where it all begins, where everything that they have learned in the previous years, this is where these things apply. Now, they don't always use what they've learned. They use new things that they're learning, and they're testing it to see if it's something that could go ahead and work. And maybe the new way of doing it could go ahead and work better than the old way. It's not bad to replace old things. It's just improving them. Just like computers have been improving, technology, the use of the social media. There are different types of changes that have changed, and it really helps any organization, because as far as social media, it helps them through the marketing, through any type of promotions and stuff like that. So it actually helps them out with that. They get a new job. So kids are inspired to have a new job based on what they're offered. For example, when you're a teacher, you get offered different promotions. When you work for the government, you get promotions as discounts in hotels, restaurants. You get more benefits, and you get more discounts in different areas where you get a discount for the things that you're getting. One of my aunt, she's a teacher. So when I asked her, why is the reason that, you think teachers get a discount when they go purchase their items? Well, teachers, when they go purchase their item, is for students. They go ahead and use them, and they, sometimes they get broken and stuff like that. So it's something they need to go ahead and replace. So they actually look forward to it. Others in the computer industry or the business industry, they look as far as how much they're getting paid for the experience. And it's really something really good that they look up to, because as of right now, anybody would leave a job for something better. I wouldn't say that, you have a job that's paying you $9 the hour and you're going to go get a job that's paying you $8.25, because right there you're reducing the income that you would be getting. For example, you have someone that is getting paid $12 the hour, yet salary wise they're offering you to pay you $1,500 a month, which is roughly about the same thing if you go ahead and calculate the hours and stuff, but it's still not deducting taxes. So it just depends what kind of things they're offering you that, people risk it to make the change. And there are others that just say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and stay with my job. So far it's doing so great, and I like for my income to go ahead and be steady until, I know for a fact it's a change I want to make. So here's a little picture where it says, if you want to be promoted, you have two options. One is hope that you get noticed doing a great job, and the other is doing a strategic plan. So with this in mind, it's either you're based on experience or, you have a plan. When you have a plan, you're working something out. It's an outline. It's like you're brainstorming. So you're laying everything and you're planning everything. So which means every step that you're taking, it's already planned for. There are sometimes things that are unexpected, but you are making sure that every step on the way you are ready for. And if there's any circumstances that can't be met, you have a plan B. Which is why companies have data that they store and they collect. They go back years to go ahead and see, what improvements they have made and if their numbers have increased. Which is a good thing that they go ahead and do, because having a plan to make the change is a good thing. When you don't have a plan, it is really hard for employees or any staff to really agree with you, because employees wouldn't want to take the blame for it. They want to they want to feel comfortable with the change that you're doing, which is why you also need to keep employees in mind. Having meetings, asking them, is there anything that could be done that could help them out in the areas? Is there something that needs improvement? Is there something that is missing that they need? Things like that could help employees, see, okay, my company is being observant and they want to go ahead and know, and I need to pay attention here so that maybe if we are missing something, they're gonna help us. So right there, they have hope that if something comes up, the company will be able to go ahead and help them out. Having a clear communication is one of the big things that any organization needs. The reason why is because if the employee is not clear enough, well, the organization, any supervisor or manager is not really going to take them seriously. If a manager is not being clear about the changes that are going to be made, well, employees are going to be lost. They're going to be scared to make one step, like to do what they're supposed to. So it really is an important thing for you to have in mind. Clear communication, whether you send them an email, make a meeting and remind them of the change that's going to happen, and send them an email and follow up. And when you're going over all this information, make sure that you get feedback. With your employees, with your customers, with anybody that is involved in all these changes, that you are able to see if the results of the change is what you were expecting. It's really one big important thing. So the old way is something that has been done already. It can be undone. It's already there. It's just that a new way could be something more beneficial for the company, for employees, for customers, because they are making the changes with the information that they have already from the previous years before. So it's really, really important for the organizations to have some type of plan before they think about the change. They can't just jump into a conclusion and just say, tomorrow we're going to start this plan and that's it. It really doesn't work that way. When a company does that, they lose employees because they feel hopeless and they wouldn't want to make any mistakes and get the blame for it. So when companies do that and they leave employees hanging and they don't care, the company loses the trust of employees. And that is a big thing that companies should actually take care of, where it's the trust of employees, because they're the ones doing the hard work. So it's really important for that to keep in mind for any organization change that anyone does, even whether it's in a business, in a school, in anyone's life. It really is something that they need to go ahead and take in consideration, the trust of people around you, and also having a plan. Having a plan is not something that is not right. It is just a plan that you may have to have. You have, so that you know what you're expecting, and if something is unexpected, well, you're going to be ready for it, and you may have another way out. So planning things ahead is something good, because the change could be something better, and it could be better than what it is now. Thank you.
This is a presentation for organizational change. That is all I wanted to add. Thank you.